Manchester City are a bigger threat for the Premier League title than Liverpool. At least that's how I feel after this weekend's games. Now, everything can change, we know that. But City are doing that thing. They are doing that thing where they just creep up on you, and before you know it, they're right on your ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City are on our asses. After Manchester City thoroughly beat down Liverpool the other day, the gap has been closed to 4 points between Arsenal and Manchester City. And it's not the best time for Arsenal to have dropped points and for Manchester City to have won, because we now have a 2-week international break where Arsenal fans can panic about the big blue shark coming to get them. I have a lot of thoughts on this, and we will definitely get to all of those thoughts in this video. So make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel and get in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about what I'm saying. Firstly, I just think we need to grow up a little bit. I understand that there is PTSD and trauma from past title races and not winning big trophies and all of that, but I think you need to take more information or grab your information maybe from the team and the fact that this is a very different team. 22-23 and 23-24 is different than where we are now. And to maybe take a little bit from how we've performed this season and not doom the rest of the season because Manchester City closed the gap. I think we're going to have to buckle up and be ready for a true title race. Every time that Manchester City has won the league, they've been almost flawless in the second half of the season. And maybe in recent history, they've been a little slow in the first half of the season. So there was never really a time where it really felt like Manchester City were super out of it. This is going to be a real title race. And this is no offense to Liverpool fans. If you want to, close your ears real quick because you don't want to hear it. I want you to stay because I'm going to talk about you guys as well. But just real quick, maybe close your ears because you're not going to like what I have to say. But the 2 times that Manchester City, since they've been who they are now, the 2 times that they did not win the league, they were pretty much out of it in the first half of the season, if not right after the second half. They fully fell away and had an uncharacteristic fall off, and they usually came roaring back the next season, right? And so I'm not saying that those titles were not legitimate Liverpool fans. I'm just saying that they were pretty much one-horse races, right? Now, anytime that somebody has actually had to go up against Manchester City, seriously, Manchester City have came out on top. And I think that's what is probably concerning for us, is that if this is not a Manchester City that's going to struggle, if this is a Manchester City that is going to be like the Manchester City that we went up against in 23-24, then, like I said, we must buckle up. Strap in, kiddos. We're going on a ride because this is going to be a long freaking season. And what's going to make it even longer is if anytime we drop points or anytime that they don't drop points, we panic. We panic, show our butts, show our asses, and act like we ain't never been here before. Now, I know some of y'all ain't never really been here before. And the last time I was here, I was 15. So it's not like I was that old. But title races, when they are actually title races, are incredibly stressful. And teams usually fall somewhere between 1 and 3 points, 4 points between them, right? And so if you are anticipating, Arsenal fans, a kind of get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points ahead and then just kind of like walk to the finish line, that's not going to happen with the Manchester City with Haaland playing like this, right? Haaland is the great kind of title deciding type of player that I feel like is going to cause Arsenal a lot of trouble in this title race, because if there are cracks at Manchester City, he papers over so many of them with his ability to score goals at absolute nauseum. He is scoring goals like nothing we've really seen before. And as long as you can score lots more goals than your opposition, even if you're shit at the back, it really doesn't matter. And I don't even think Manchester City are bad defensively. I actually think that since they came to the Emirates, they've been so much better defensively and they kind of plug those holes. And you're also seeing some of their players that have come in, last winter and in the summer, starting to pick up a little bit of form. Sorry, my dog farted. But Turkey and then Doku is playing out of his mind. And you also have Pep. So it's unnerving and it's nerve wracking, but that's the title race. And again, if anytime we drop points, because guys, we are going to drop points. We are going to drop points. If, you cry every single time we drop points and you're like, "Oh, it's over. I can't believe it's over." You never really believed it to begin with. Just sign out on the sheet up front and just exit because you're not going to make it. Your knees are buckling already in November. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And listen, if you had told me after we drew to Manchester City that we would be 4 points ahead of anyone else in the title race in November, I would have been like, really? Because at that point, our names were already on a tombstone. The media were saying that had we had lost to Newcastle, our title hopes would have been over, right? And so I think context is always key, right? That the element of Manchester City will make you nervous. But Arsenal are not in a bad position because City are 4 points behind them. They will only become in a bad position if they come out of this international break and make that 2-2 draw their personality. The reason why I think that Arsenal have a really good chance of winning things this season is because I believe that this team is different. I believe that this team is built in a way that can sustain a title charge while fighting on multiple fronts. I think they're experienced enough to not make a 2-2 draw their personality, and we have enough firepower and talent to go through these next couple of games that are difficult games and get good results. That's what I believe. What do you believe? What do you believe? If you're an Arsenal fan, what do you believe? Do you actually believe that this team is built right and can sustain all the way to the end of the season and win big trophies or not? Because when we were beating Fulham and we were beating West Ham and we were beating Olympiacos and we were beating Atletico Madrid, y'all were saying that. But now that City closed the gap to 4, you're scared. Are you in it or not? 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 Because listen, I still think we're in a very good position. 4 points clear, November, lots of injuries, lots of moving parts. We're doing well. But coming out of this international break, one thing that needs to happen is Arsenal need to be so freaking serious. Players need to come back. They need to lock in. They need to get through this week of death, which is Spurs, Bayern, and Chelsea with probably all 3 W's. But if you have to drop points somewhere, drop points in the Bayern game. And then December is a difficult month because it is the festive period. But all them games are winnable, baby. Those games are winnable, right? So that's kind of how I feel about where we're at right now, because I don't think there's any conclusive evidence of anything right now. It is November. It is early. We have players out. We can definitely get stronger. And where people, I feel like what we end up doing is looking at other teams and seeing how they can get stronger. We don't really think about it from our perspective as well. We most definitely can get stronger from here. And I do feel like this season feels so eerily similar to the 23-24 season in that we were not as perfect as we wanted to be. Of course, like we could have done so much better. We really could have probably done better away at Anfield. And we definitely could have done better against Sunderland and against Manchester City, right? But we're getting results, winning lots of games without being perfect, with the opportunity to get even better in the second half of the season and make a really good run. Get a really, really good run. Obviously, we have to get through this next 10 games. This next 10 games is going to set us up for that second half. But that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I think we can do. We can definitely get stronger with players coming back. We have had somewhat of an injury crisis, but we're not allowed to talk about it because we have all this depth. But we have had an injury crisis and we need some of our players to come back. And once that happens, I feel like we'll be much stronger. What happened against Sunderland will not happen when we have our players back because we'll be able to sub properly. We won't look as tired in the dying moments. If you have Kai Havertz and Odegaard and players like that you can throw on, at the end of that game, we probably don't concede that goal. It just is what it is. We can't get the points back. It is what it is. But getting players back is going to make us better. Where Manchester City have been able to get better as players have come back. Because remember, they had some injuries. They had players come back. They've gotten stronger. We can also get stronger. Don't ever call me a negative Nelly again. Y'all can never call me Leanne Gunner again, because that was a whole lot of positivity right there. And I don't just say whatever just for the sake of it, because your girl doesn't need clicks, okay? I say what I actually mean, and I mean what I actually say. We are a good team. We've never been more prepared for this, but this is going to be a real title race. This is not going to be them falling off in November, December. This is not going to be one horse race down to the end. It is definitely going to be more like 23-24. Buckle up, baby. Liverpool fans, if you're still here, Thank you for staying here because I was going to talk about you guys as well. And I guess, the question on everybody's lips in regards to Liverpool is, are they out of the title race? Now, if you lose like 5 games in a title race, you're pretty much dead and buried. You're pretty much dead and buried. And I think that, a lot of Liverpool fans felt like maybe they were turning the corner after Aston Villa and Real Madrid. But like I said in my videos, I was like, and I felt the same way about Chelsea as well, that in the next 3 games, you need to get 3 wins on the bounce, or at least 3 good performances, because I get that Liverpool also played some more difficult games, right? But the performance against Manchester City, even though it's Manchester City and Manchester City are playing well, the performance alone, I think, says where Liverpool are right now. The first 5 games, Liverpool were very much so, I feel like, running on vibes and new player smell. And I don't know, they were just on vibes, really. Once shit got real, the foundations and stuff were not there. And I feel like where Aston Villa kind of gave the game to Liverpool a little bit, played into their hands, like Eintracht Frankfurt did as well in the Champions League, and Real Madrid were awful. Once they came up against a team that was solid defensively, they really struggled. And I was really surprised to see how much they struggled too. It was a comprehensive battering. Comprehensive battering. The fact that Connor Bradley is your best right back probably right now, right? Because there's like literally no one else there. And the way that he was, Jeremy, that man has a family. It was just, it was hard to watch. It really felt like we were watching somebody be beaten and tarred and feathered. But that's your best right back. What can you do? They're just so disjointed and bereft of any sort of like energy or ideas or whatever. Salah was terrible in that game. So I don't know with Liverpool. I think from a numbers perspective or like a points perspective, they're not out of it, but I just don't feel like they have the mental of what it would take. And when Arsenal last season were kind of around this point in the season, it became kind of clear that even though they were meant to mount a challenge, that their performances just weren't there. And even if we were piecing together some performances here and there in the Champions League or whatever, that we just weren't up for it. And I feel like Liverpool are just not up for it. Title races, you guys I don't have to tell y'all, but they are very mentally taxing on the players, the fans, everybody. And I just don't feel like they're on it. And there's multiple reasons why that can be. I'm very sympathetic to the fact that they've lost a dear friend in the summer, quite tragically and very out of the blue. And so that could play a part. All the moving parts, losing key players, the Luis Diaz and the Nunez, even though those players were not, I wouldn't say not highly regarded, but not like super loved like that. You guys will get what I'm saying. Don't be coming in the comments talking about we love them. Like, no, you didn't. Like, you didn't. You didn't love them like that. Not like that. You liked them, all right, but you didn't love them like that. But losing those types of players, I guess, that were like very much so like in the team, and then like replacing them with other players that aren't really used to stuff, it's just throwing you for a loop, and Slot doesn't have a good grip on it. And so I think Liverpool are out of the title race. No one's gonna hit me over the head, right? Like I think that they're out of the title race. And it's top 4 scrap. But, it is what it is. You won last season, so you probably won't feel that bad about it, and maybe a cup or something or a run in the Champions League. I don't know. But this title race is very much so looking like a City Arsenal title race. And can Arsenal buckle up, get serious, and finally defeat the evil that is that bald man Pep? Because really, whatever league that he's in, once he gets a stranglehold on that league, it's very difficult to beat him. They really have to be in the trenches. And so if Arsenal are able to win the league this season and it goes all the way down to the end, I'm just going to say this, that's one of the most impressive things that anybody will have done. Because it ain't easy. It's not easy beating Pep to a title when they're actually playing well and like in it for real. So yeah, but listen, I hope some Manchester City fans have watched this, Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, and I would love to know what all 3 fan bases feel about their title hopes, where their title hopes are right now, and if they're feeling confident. I'm sure City fans are feeling very confident right now, and I think Arsenal fans might be a little bit shaken. But Arsenal fans, I'm going to say this one more time, buckle up, pull your big boy or big girl panties up, and lock the fuck in, because this is about to be a long long, long season. And if you're not ready, get to the sign out sheet, sign yourself out, and exit. Because we're going for the title, baby! Like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.